Do you ever feel like time escapes you? Do you find yourself asking, where did the week go? What if time wasn't something we simply passed through, but instead was something to live in? What if time wasn't just seen as the hours, days, weeks, months that pass by, but instead was seen as a series of rooms to walk through, each offering us something unique to notice, the space to slowly savor, a moment to give thanks. What's important about the morning ritual isn't what you do, but how you do it. It's about the quality of presence that you bring. As Rumi once said, there are 100 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. Something I've been really enjoying about giving myself a time to get out of the house, like needing to go to a gym class in the morning. It reminds me of when I used to work in the office, and whilst I love that I now have the flexibility and freedom to choose when I want to do things and I don't have to be rushing, I think there is something nice about the structure of needing to be somewhere at a certain time, and I've been really enjoying it. Because it makes the time that you have need to be super intentional. Now, we're gonna go walk into a new room. I feel like even being in the car and getting to a place feels like its own realm, its own separate space. I need to get the right songs on when I'm driving. I love driving. Guys, it's early, 7:30. I shouldn't be talking. Really? What am I going to listen to though? This is not what I want to listen to. I've been loving a lot of music lately. This has actually been my favorite song, my favorite album. Can you see? I don't know if you can see it. I'll put it on the screen if you can't see it. But I don't know, there's something about it. It's the kora, but then it's also the pipa. Is that what the instrument is called? What is the pipa? I'm getting distracted. So it's the pipa, which is a traditional Chinese instrument, and the kora as well, which is a traditional West African instrument. And the pipa looks like this. And there's just something really beautiful about the two instruments together. And this particular song has been hitting. So that's what we're going to listen to. It's going to be the soundtrack of this journey. Yalla. I gotta get petrol. I feel like I always need to get petrol. Because petrol is expensive. I only put like $30 in at a time. And then I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You should have just filled up your tank. Because now I feel like I'm always at the petrol station. Anyway. I forgot to water the garden this morning. I'll do it later. There's also something about listening to the same album or the same song, the same artist, repeatedly for a period of time, and the way that that music gets woven into that moment of life that you are experiencing, and then the memory becomes imbued in it, and then when you re-listen to it later, it feels like you're smelling an old perfume or something, and you get transported back so much. I think sound is a really, really powerful container, as is scent, as is everything that our senses inhabit. But yeah, there is something about music and one of my favorite rituals lately has been going to get a chai latte before my morning gym class. I'm currently doing the artist's way, and so I'll take the book with me in the morning and sit down, do my reading and some of the weekly tasks. I also had a meeting this morning, so I made sure that I went a little bit earlier than usual so I could do both. Carving out this moment before I go to the gym always feels as though I'm stepping into a new room of the day, and it stretches out my sense of time in doing so. also use self-pleasure as a way of ritualizing and more deeply experiencing time. In moments of pleasure, we invite ourselves into our bodies and into our breath, a powerful way to melt away pressure and the sense of time as a constrictor. It's a practice that I like to make sacred, inviting music, scent, and light into the space. I think it's common for connecting with our pleasure and sensuality in this way to maybe feel a little uncomfortable, because as women, we're taught more often than not that our pleasure is something to be ashamed of. It's seen as a dirty thing that we do in private. But what happens when our pleasure is part of what connects us to our power? If we deny ourselves of pleasure as women, we also close ourselves off from part of our power, those deeply intuitive, flowing parts of ourselves that know. To help us tap further into our pleasure and our bodies, Cheeks have partnered with me for this video. I've spoken about their platform a few times here, and I think it's a really great space if you are into corn, because all their content is ethically produced, it's female friendly, it centers things like communication and consent, which I think is so important when you are taking in adult content, to make sure that it's not something that's warping your perception of what intimacy is like. On Cheeks, you can find intimate films. You can also find immersive audio stories that really guide you through your breath and connecting to your body in a calming, meditative way. And they also have masterclasses where you can learn more about certain topics. Everything on their platform is designed to help you connect with your body in a space that feels inclusive, free of shame. I love how the films that I've watched on there, they don't feel like, you know, sometimes when you're watching that sort of content and it's like, what is going on? This is not something that would happen in real life. It's just so fetishized and very centered on male pleasure and the male gaze, and it doesn't feel, like it's prioritizing a woman's pleasure. But on Cheeks, however, I love how their films feel so much more real, so much more relatable, and they center feminine pleasure. So if you like connecting with your sensuality through adult content, I would definitely recommend Cheeks. You can use the link in my description. My code is CAM, and it'll get you a 7-day free trial to the whole platform. But it is time for me to eat. I'm gonna go and have papaya for breakfast. This has been a breakfast that I have been loving lately. I went to stay with a friend for a couple of weeks, and she had a stomach ulcer in the past, and she's been eating papaya to heal her stomach. And so we ate papaya every morning for breakfast, and ever since I've been hooked. It feels like my body is craving papaya every day. I can't get enough of it. So let's go have it for breakfast. This is definitely what I love most about working for myself, being able to schedule my workday around things that I want to prioritize, like having slow meals and sitting outside and not feeling rushed and pressured. I'm really trying to spend more time off my laptop at the moment with work. I feel like I was just spending so many hours at my desk, and then I had a moment, I was like, wait, I don't need to spend so much time at my laptop. I'm just trying to step away from the constant cycle of production that social media demands, because I think it's it's against what I actually want to do with art. I think that art is meant to be something that you should savor, that your imagination can kind of return to and always see something new in, and something that is a bit more implicit than explicit. And I'm leaning a lot more into writing at the moment with my art forms, and also painting and sketching. I really want to lean more into those skills and those crafts, because I do love making these videos, but they take a lot of my energy and they take a lot of my time. They take a lot of my screen time. They take up a lot of screen time, and I don't really want that for myself. I don't want to be stuck in the chasm of the internet. I don't like it, but I'm here and you're here and we're all here. We're all circling in the internet every day of our lives, and I'm just feeling a bit sick of the internet. But also understanding that at this moment in time, the internet is what provides my income. The internet is what allows me to work for myself. A bit of a double-edged sword that I'm trying to reshape, remold into something that feels better, feels more sustainable in the long term. But all that to say, I'm so grateful that I am able to carve out these moments in the day. I also think that creating ritual and finding pockets of time that are yours, where you can notice and be present and sink into your senses, is something that we can cultivate no matter what our circumstances are. It's just about how that looks in your life. Like when I was working my 9 to 5 in the office, my mornings before work were very special to me, and my lunch breaks were also a very special time. In fact, I think that my lunch breaks really allowed me to connect deeper with myself, because I had an hour-long lunch break, and at the time I was very fortunate that the office I worked in was like 100 meters walk from the beach. So I used to just walk to the beach every day and spend an hour there, and it was honestly the best part of every single day. I looked forward to going to work because I looked forward to having my lunch, and I would meal prep my lunches every Sunday. So I'd be looking forward to my meals every day that week because I'd put so much effort and love into making them on the weekend. And yeah, I just remember lunch breaks being such an exciting time, and I think it's important to cultivate that excitement for ourselves in our day-to-day lives, because nobody else is going to do it for us. We really have to create the meaning in our day-to-day lives. I was reading yesterday about how Malcolm X spent his sentence in prison reading, and how he said that it transformed his life and it allowed him to give himself an education. And I was like, wow, that is so inspiring, to take such a dire situation and turn it into something transformative, something that he used that time to the fullest of his advantage. And we all have time, we all have pockets of time that we can use more fully, not in a way of hyper productivity, like doing this, but living more fully, not doing, but being. Like even if you have half an hour free time in the day, just like sitting outside and noticing things, writing things down that you're observing, and moments where you can let your mind wander, because we spend so much time in this day and age with distractions constantly kind of numbing us, numbing our senses, numbing our imagination, numbing our ability to think for ourselves and think critically, numbing our ability to feel awe and wonder, because we're not letting ourselves enter that space where those things become possible. We're like always full, and you need the emptiness, you need the spaciousness for those little moments to arise, which leads to creativity and leads to inspiration. we can't imagine new possibilities, new futures, personal, collective, whatever, if our minds are always jam-packed and we're always stifling our ability to drift and wonder and have moments of reverie. There's no dreaming that can be done from a place of constant stimulation. I would say that that's the biggest thing that I'm trying to do more in my life at the moment. I'm trying to do less. I'm trying to be more. I'm trying to read more. I'm trying to write more. I'm trying to learn more. I'm trying to imagine more. I'm trying to dream more. I'm trying to notice more. I'm trying to feel more. And those are all things that your human body already knows how to do. But also it's so difficult, I think, to go from that place where you're oversaturated with stimulation to a place where you're present and you're just being can feel so uncomfortable, because it's like, what am I doing? Like, what am I looking at? I need to be seeking this hit somewhere else. It's not here, but it's actually always here. And there's so much to be fascinated about. Like, even I'm just sitting here and I'm like, wow, look at this leaf. And this is how we existed as kids. This is what made our lives feel full. And now I think society on a whole is just lacking a little bit of play. It's lacking a bit of humor. It's lacking a bit of wonder. And kids are so important and precious because that is their existence. That is their purpose, to just be joyful, imaginative, playful. Like, we can learn so much from kids. I spent a few days with my nieces recently, and one of them is 9 and one of them is 5. And I was just in awe of their awe and their lightness, and I just found being with them so inspirational. Literally, they left and I was like, it's time to change my life. I'm being far too serious. I love kids for that reason. But we don't listen to them enough, and we try and box them in and contain them too much. And I just think that we need to nurture the spirits of children so much because they're so bright. Their joy is so potent. Their aliveness is so potent, and the world needs that. The world goddamn needs that. And it's so heartbreaking seeing kids caught up in the hellishness of the world. Lately, when I've been sitting at my laptop to do work, I've been trying to be very intentional about these hours at my screen, because I don't want them to drag on for hours and hours and hours. I want to make sure that I'm the most focused I can be in the couple of hours that I do show up to the screen, and make things happen in that time, not procrastinating and starting to do something else and getting distracted. I'm really trying to be more focused. I always like to sit down with some sort of a drink, a matcha, a cacao, a tea, something is beside me. And before starting my work lately, I've been enjoying closing my eyes and inviting a moment of prayer or affirmation, intention, just sort of blessing the time that I'm about to move into and treating it as something sacred. There's a really beautiful blessing from John O'Donohue, and I used to have it printed and pinned up next to my desk, which I feel like I should do again. But it said, "May the light of your soul guide you. May the light of your soul bless the work you do with the secret love and warmth of your heart. May you see in what you do the beauty of your own soul. May the sacredness of your work bring healing, light, and renewal to those who work with you and to those who see and receive your work. May your work never weary you. May it release within you well springs of refreshment, inspiration, and excitement. May you be present in what you do. May you never become lost in the bland absences. May the day never burden you. May dawn find you awake and alert, approaching your new day with dreams, possibilities, and promises. May evening find you gracious and fulfilled. May you go into the night blessed, sheltered, and protected. May your soul calm, console, and renew you.
Really literally said, what this rhythm come from? What I do, because Asian music is always melody, but African music is rhythm.
If we are willing to, we can make it happen with that kind of positive energy. I think that's very important. There was no musician ego going on. We are just willing to make a musical friendship and sharing, and I think that's what reflects on the album, that friendship, that communication, that connection, translation of whatever language we are speaking, and but then we understand each other, and that's how most of the composition have come that way. Originally we were thinking
I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Wish I could break all the things that bind us apart. Wish you could know what it means to be me. You'd see, you'd agree, everybody should be free, 'cause if we ain't, we're murderous.
I remember when I was a child, and one of my favorite moments of the day was going to bed, because it meant that I got to step into my imagination. I could close my eyes, and that space between being awake and being asleep felt like such a fertile place that was filled with possibilities and ideas and dreams. And as adults, I think it's so common for us to lose touch with those imaginative parts of ourselves that the inner child in us knows so well. When we were kids, we knew excitement, we knew curiosity, we knew imagination, we knew play, we knew awe, And these things often start to escape us as we grow up. But they are also such fundamental parts of what make being alive a joyous act. And so I love revisiting those childhood feelings of dream and inner escapism in the evening. And I'll light my candle, I'll light some incense, and I always open my journal before I go to sleep. And I close my eyes and I envision what the next day might look like, or if there are any future things that I'm pondering on or dreaming of and hoping for. I'll just close my eyes and visualize it. And it's so fun that we have this human capacity to envision, to see things that aren't there yet, and to feel them, because when I create dreams in my head in this way, they feel very visceral. Sometimes they just come to me, and it's not even like I was trying to arrive there, but something arrives to me and I write it down or I think about it, and it's a really beautiful process. I have had so much coming out of my mind lately, and so big streams of consciousness and brain dumps in my journal have felt really, really good. I've got this A4 book at the moment that I'm loving, just going crazy in and not wanting to be aesthetic, just letting it all fall out of me. I find that when I journal in this very fluid way, I again arrive at a place that I didn't intend to arrive at. Sometimes I might end up writing a poem, I might think of an idea for a painting, and it's just because I've allowed myself to enter that space of flow. I'll write a to-do list for the following day, and doing this just breeds this feeling of excitement in me for the next day. I am quite meticulous at the moment at planning my days, because I just want to get the most out of my days, not in a sense of productivity, but I want to get the most presence out of every day. I want to feel as much as possible. I want to taste as much as possible. Every day in life in general, I just have this general sense of I'm hungry for life. And it's a beautiful thing to feel.